Okay, well, thanks everybody for popping in. Yeah, I am going to record things so I can send things out along with the PowerPoint that I'm going to share. Um, so if you haven't heard yet, there are some kind of significant program changes coming to the Cub Scout program nationwide. So I'm hoping just the next 15 minutes or so to kind of overview that and see if y'all have any questions or anything like that, but did want to make sure everybody um, knows what's coming. I think they're all really positive things that'll help to streamline things, help parents be more easily involved, help leaders kind of keep things more streamlined as well. So these program updates take effect on June the 1st. Um, and for parents and den leaders, if there are other adventures that you're working on now for certain, for your den grade level, anything like that, or do anything at home, those can be completed through the end of August. So there are a number of adventures that are being retired as part of this kind of program update. Um, so, uh, so this happens on the 1st of June. They've actually been working on this for about 5 years. If you didn't know, there's a national Cub Scouting committee that tries to pay attention to how things are going and review program. And so they have, over that span of time, received feedback from over 23,000 parents and leaders associated with the program. And they've come up with four major areas that are getting updated and improved. Um, so one is the Bobcat badge. That's going to be retired. I'll say a good bit more about that in the future. That is that initial badge, initial rank that everybody earned, no matter what grade level they were when they first come into Cub Scouts. So that's getting kind of shifted in a new way. Um, they're going to update Cub Scout adventures. So one of the cool things is there now be a set number of required adventures for each rank, each grade level. I think there's six required and two electives. So they are expanding the number of electives, but also they are uh, making that equal, which will be helpful, right? Because particularly as den leaders move up, it was not clear, kind of some of the method behind the madness. Why there's four adventures for lions, but there's six for wolves or however many it is. I don't remember. So also, there's more clarity now about fourth and fifth grades. So when all of us were kids, fourth and fifth grade were both called Weeblos. They've kind of been phasing that out where, so back then we'd call it Weeblos 1 and Weeblos 2. Now we kind of have been calling it Weeblos and Era of Light. So now the intent is for those things to be completely separated, which also includes some uniforming issues that I'll share about too. In a moment. And then finally, Cub Scout awards, like the Summertime Pack Award, for instance, that we've earned in the past. All of those are getting re-envisioned as adventures for distinctive grade levels, distinctive rank levels, to again try to streamline things and make it a little more clear. So here's kind of some of the feedback that specifically came into this in those kind of four major updated areas. Just confusion about Bobcat. I think the other thing that we've all noticed is it's really hard for a kindergartner to memorize the whole Scout Oath, for instance. So that is being reincorporated now as a new required adventure for each rank. Um, that will then be intended to be kind of the first one that Dens will start with. Um, so yeah, adventures are being streamlined. Those that I've mentioned that are the required adventures, they kind of align more closely with the kind of the core values and the aims of scouting. So that for each different den, each grade level, there will be a required adventure. For instance, for like character and leadership, there's one for reverence and family. I've got a chart about that coming up. And then, like I said about Weeblos, is that fourth grade? Is that fifth grade? Confusion about that. So they're streamlining that and then taking those awards, which were not often incorporated into rank, into uniforming and, the little pins you would get and all that. That's going to be phased out. So now they can earn an adventure for those awards and get a belt loop like they do for everything else. So, quick word about uniforms. The Lion uniform stays the same, cute little t-shirts. I know all the other scouts are jealous because it's a cool t-shirt. Um, the change is in the past, when you got to fourth grade, you would start to wear the Scouts BSA tan and green uniform. That will no longer be the case. So the blue uniform is intended to go through Weeblo's fourth grade. However, if anybody's updated or anything, then it's not a big deal. We're not, we don't want people to have to get extra, spend a lot of extra on uniforming stuff. But it does mean that the Scouts BSA uniform will now only be for fifth graders moving forward. So, if those things are already taken care of, that's not a big deal, but it will only be for fifth grade and not fourth and fifth grade, um, if that makes sense. And then the adult uniform stays the same as the Scouts BSA uniform with the blue epaulets, the blue shoulder loops, I guess is the official term these days. So, um, okay, so advancement then stays very similar to what it's been, with the one change being there's no longer any Bobcat badge after um, the end of this summer. So anybody that joins, over the next couple months, if they want to work on that, we can do that. We don't have to. That won't be a thing anymore. Some more about the Bobcat badge itself. Bobcat badge rank was a little unclear what that is. So now that's being retired. And like I've said, that becomes a specific adventure in each rank that's intended to be the first one that our dens will do. So that becomes a little more age appropriate. Like I said, kindergartners have trouble learning the whole Scout Oath. And the focus then is on what they call character and leadership. So that's still, those adventures still incorporate the same things it has incorporated before, but just kind of, from what I understand, I haven't actually seen the new requirements, but from what I understand, it kind of takes it in bite-sized pieces that make sense for those different grade levels. Okay, so this is a chart that I find super helpful. So, like I said, Bobcat Adventure becomes the first one that's kind of recommended for each different rank, based on the grade level. And then every single rank, every grade level does 6 required adventures and 2 elective adventures. These are the ones they earn the little belt loops for. Um, it also is doing away with kind of the confusing stuff where one adventure will say, do requirements 1 and 2, and then also do 3 more between 3 and 17, and you know finish requirement number 1 and then pick 3 from requirements number 2 through 7. Like, it was very confusing, and very different for everything. So the idea is to streamline that. So in addition to that, a number of electives are being added, um, for every single rank, so that there's more options, kind of more availability, both for families and dens to do that. This gives you a sense for some of those awards that I've mentioned before, that are being re-envisioned as adventures. So, like, for instance, the Pinewood Derby right now is an adventure that's available for all grades K through 5, that's now called Race Time. So it has certain requirements that pretty much, if you participate in the Pinewood Derby, you would earn that belt loop. The same for camping, cycling, fishing, all those things listed, as well as some other things. So same with the Summertime Pack Award. That is now re-envisioned as a single Scout adventure. So we will be moving forward, providing some opportunities to earn that belt loop, earn that adventure, but that is not going to be something that is required for the whole pack to do it, and then for certain scouts to do certain things that the pack does. So any family could say, and this is true of any adventure, right? Hey, we really want to do this one, like we happen to be taking this backpacking trip as a family, so which ventures could we earn as part of that? That remains true, and is still true. Okay, let me pause there for a second. Uh, any questions so far?
Yeah, I have a question, Bradley.
Yeah, what's up?
Um, River's been working on the Scout Law and Scout Oath as a lion in preparation for next year. Um, when will we be doing advancements? Like, will that still be over the summer, or were you saying that that will not be until August now? Because he,
So yeah, so all of the things that are being phased out, retired, including the Bobcat badge and um, some of the adventures, and they regularly do retire adventures and stuff. I mean,
yeah,
this kind of program changes regular. I mean, there hasn't been a big one like this for a few years, but um, so we have to have those things entered by the end of August.
okay.
So if River's
So,
excited about it and is working on it, um, I think as soon as school lets out, we can go ahead and bump everybody up to the next rank,
okay,
and he can go ahead and earn that. I have no problem with figuring that out.
okay.
Does that
Yeah,
make sense?
he's been working on that for a while now, and I mean, it's not a huge deal, but if he could go ahead and earn that before it's phased out, that would probably mean a lot to him.
Yeah, no, definitely. And if other parents are aware of those type situations, like we want to make sure we can do that. So yeah, you might have to remind me, Jeremiah.
Okay.
So you can see on this chart, the other cool thing that this will do for us is it will be entirely possible, and we've already done this sometimes, right? Like multiple ranks have a requirement for hiking that we'll be knocking out on Saturday as a pack, right? When we meet all together. But because, there's one line here for all this Bobcat stuff, because there's one line for personal fitness, I mean, it is entirely possible that we could say, hey, why don't we have the pack meeting, in October or whenever, kind of focus on personal fitness and working with den leaders and through those requirements, go through some of those things and streamline stuff so that we could have stations or whatever set up to where dens could work on that particular advancement, but we could be doing it all together as a pack. I mean, I think that's a big plus of this kind of an update. Any other questions for anybody? Okay, quick word about knife safety. Um, if you didn't know, it used to be that starting in third grade, a Cub Scout could earn what was called a Whitland chip, that had certain requirements to it, and that would allow them to, at scouting functions, safely carry a pocket knife. Um, Even this past year, we got really confused about it because it wasn't there as a Whitland chip. There was an adventure for the third grade, and they earned it. And what were we supposed to give them? We didn't know, all this kind of stuff. So the new plan is it'll still start in third grade, but it will now be an adventure for their rank. The other big change is at the start of the next year, those scouts, if you'd earned it in third grade and are back in fourth grade, for instance, will still need to do the fourth grade adventure in order to have that privilege again of carrying a pocket knife. Um, so these are the different adventures for third, fourth, and fifth grade. But for every time, the idea is they um, review and redo all of that safety stuff. Because frankly, if you did it towards the beginning of your third grade year and then you're almost done with fifth grade, like I wouldn't be surprised if they'd forgotten some things or needed to be reminded of them anyway. So, and then instead of the Whitland chip, which they're retiring, those cards, you know how we give everybody a card with the adventure? That can be used like as proof. If we go to day camp or whatever, they can have their card. It used to be that that chip, like classically, and this is the same in Scouts BSA, you get a little card, they call it the totem chip. If you get caught doing something unsafe, you have a corner cut off of it. And if you lose all four corners, you got to earn the whole thing again. Like that's what it used to be. So that's why they add this thing about the pocket card. It's probably good for us to be on the same page about knife safety anyway, because I don't think at most of our den meetings or pack meetings they need a knife. There's not going to be something they use it for. But like when we go camping, that might be a nice thing to have if they're able to do that safely. Um, okay, that's basically all I've got about program stuff, updating stuff. Any other questions about anything? I just put a couple of hold the date reminders in here. I think I announced it. I'm not sure I've emailed it, but we will also not have any scouts, any den meetings on March 28th. The church is not available to us, but that works out okay anyway because it's spring break. So we're out of school. I am planning to send out in the next week, within the next week, some more detailed stuff about registering for Cub Camp, summer camp at Camp Powhatan. Basically, we'll want to have everybody that wants to attend registered and paid by the end of April. That's to avoid late fees. So we can, but I'll send more information about that. That is also family camping, right? So we'd want families to come, but it also means you can bring siblings that aren't in scouting, whether they're too young or whether they're not interested or whatever. That's also um, an acceptable thing to do, and a way that is in place to register for them. So we'll make sure we collect all that information. Okay, anybody have any other questions, comments, concerns, anything else that just general questions about anything?
So it's going to be the Camp Powhatan for sure. Is the summer
Yes.
camp?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I had not, I had announced it. I don't think I'd emailed that.
Okay. Okay. So that's set for sure. It's just going to be the one.
Yeah, so that'll just be that one date that will go as a pack. So
Okay.
families can always register and go to any Cub camps anywhere else. But we did that survey and had good number of folks. I think it was 12 or 13 families respond. And that just worked. That was the date that worked out for most folks. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, thanks everybody. 25 minutes. We did good. Hope you all have a nice evening off and whatnot, and that the kids are having fun too. All right. Good night, everybody.